know that as a parent, one of the most scariest situation that can ever happen to you is when your baby goes quiet. I know. If you don't agree with me, just Google and you'll find out the answer. Anyways, guys, welcome to the Parenting Show. My name is Chepchumba Cherus, and this is the Parenting Show. Follow me on my social media handles at Chepchumba Cherus on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Marlin Cherus. We have a great show lined up for you, all the way from my story to parenting one-on-one to baby hacks. And yes, please keep us company, interact with us, tell us how you feel about the show, where you're watching us from. If you even want to be featured on the show, just let us know through our social media handles. Coming up next is My Story with Juliet Morini.
Today on My Story, I'm joined by a mother by the name Wangoi. Wangoi will be sharing with us her journey in parenting, especially raising a child abled differently. Welcome. Hello everyone, welcome to My Story, and today we have a guest by the name Wangoi, just like me, and she is a mom of 3, and she will be telling us more about her journey in motherhood. You know, one of her children is living with autism. She'll be telling us how she manages to strike that balance. And without more words, hi Wangoi.
Hello, Juliet.
Good to have you on the show. You are Wangoi just like me.
Thank you. That's lovely. My namesake.
Wow, good to have you on the show. Welcome, and I'm looking forward for a very exciting discussion. And who is Wangoi?
Wangoi is a wife and a mother. Wangoi is a stay-at-home mother. I say I am a stay-at-home mother by profession because that is what I chose to do the moment I got my daughter's diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. Wow, and what else other than, raising the kids at home? Do you maybe do some sort of business to keep you more busy, or the kids have taken your entire, time?
I don't do anything else but parenting. There's a saying in Swahili that kuzaa sio kazi, kazi ni kulea mtoto.
Yeah, true.
When I came home, I had imagined I could get time to do anything else outside the house. But when I started doing what I do, I realized I do not have any time to do anything outside because I do not want anything that takes me away from what I have chosen to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I don't do anything else but just being at home with my children.
Okay, Wangoi, tell us at what point did you realize that your daughter has autism? What did you notice that was unusual?
Okay, when I realized she had not developed speech at about 2 years, I was not very worried because I had already met children that were delayed in their speech, and I knew that at some point they spoke. And when I talked to the doctor told me this one just needs exposure. Take her to school, which I did. But even when I took her to school, she still didn't achieve any, language. So I got very worried when she turned 4 and could not still say a word. And when I talked to the doctor, she sent us for assessment at Gertrude's, and we did our assessment. Unfortunately, we didn't get the right diagnosis because we were told she was just delayed and didn't have autism. So we lived with that for so long. And as a mother, I was very happy when we were told she did not have autism, because there is no mother that wants to hear that their child is able differently.
Yes.
Okay? So you live in some sort of denial, and you welcome every idea of she does not have anything that anybody could suspect they have. So when she turned 6, I went to visit a friend of mine who told me that she had seen the daughter of her friend who had a similar problem, and recommended that I talk to her friend so that I could get to know what they had done. When I talked to her friend, she recommended that I see the occupational therapist, and she gave me the contact of the occupational therapist. And when I talked to her, she came to my house. She came with her playthings, and she took quite some time with my daughter. And she told me, fine, yes, your daughter is autistic. It was a grave diagnosis, and I thought, okay, I had to stop denying anymore, but it was quite a journey. It was quite a shocker. So at 6 years, that's when we got Njeri's diagnosis.
And did you have any challenges during your pregnancy, while you were pregnant with her?
I wouldn't call them challenges per se, because they're just the usual things you get over infections. You get to take some antibiotics. I didn't have any challenges.
Okay. And when you were told that your daughter is autistic, I know, as you've said, it was very, a hard time. And how did you pull throughout that time to overcome?
Can I tell you, it is a journey, and you are in denial for some time, and when you snap out of the denial, you start the journey to acceptance. And the journey to acceptance, for me, I kept looking for anybody and anything to blame for my daughter's autism. But I thank God for her occupational therapist, who is Sanaipei. Sanaipei has been of very much help to me, because even when I got down thinking I was to blame for my daughter's condition, I called Sanaipei, talked to her and asked her a few questions, and she told me, no, your daughter is like that, not because of you, not because of anybody, but just because that is the way God wanted her to be. I looked for people to talk to, and I remember there's one time a mother told me, Njeri is not your child, Njeri is God's child. And God gave you this child the way she is because He imagined you could parent her in the best way possible. So it was not easy. I sank into some bitterness that made me not even want to be around anybody, because you realize for these children that are autistic especially, there's a lot of stigma. Somebody might look at my child and just imagine this is just a child that has been raised not very well, because you could be eating your food. She loves meat. You could be eating your food and she sees meat in your plate, she will come and pick it, because her, she does not understand that that is your food. She imagines she has access to everything that she wants. So there was a lot of bitterness because I was scared of the society. Okay, but I like that anytime I talked to Sanaipei, she helped create awareness. I was in the dark. I didn't know what autism is, and she told me, stop this Googling you do, because the more you Google, the more you get to sink more and more into depression, because you get all the answers to all the questions that you have, but not helpful answers, just answers that get you sinking deeper and deeper into the problems. So the journey got not very nice, especially when I imagined I could not support my daughter alone. So I had a house help, and I had a shadow teacher living Yes, but these two were not working very well according to me
Okay.
because they were not giving my daughter the kind of support that I needed. But remember, I was still in that depression and I could not support my daughter like I do today. So I walked this journey. I kept talking to friends. I had two friends, one that was a former colleague and one that was a church. I mean, we were going to the same church with. So I kept talking
Yeah.
to them and telling them how my journey was. I kept talking to my mother, and all they told me is pray. And I prayed. Sometimes it didn't make so much sense to me, but I can promise you, I quit work in 2018, and I was only able to snap out of this depression in 2019, mid 2019. And that is when I accepted that my daughter is able differently, and I accepted that I had quit work to support her, and I do it with just one help in the house, and I do it so religiously that I don't imagine I can go anywhere and leave my daughter even for a day.
Wow.
Mm.
And from listening to you, I can tell that your support system throughout this time has been great. What would you like to tell those people who have been there for you?
Number one, my husband. When I felt like I could not do both employment and support my daughter, I just floated the idea of leaving employment to him, and he did not object to this idea. He told me, it's okay, just leave work. And he said it so casually that I thought, okay, is it that simple? Yeah, so my number one support is my husband. And the good thing about him is anything I tell him about my daughter, he talks to me like the father he is to my daughter without wanting to sound like he's pushing her back to me. Okay, Sanaipe Kemete, my daughter's occupational therapist. Thank you very, very much. All the time I called her, even in the very wee hours of the night, she picked up my call and talked to me. And the good thing is, she always told me the truth, however bitter. She told me the truth and didn't mince her words, but in a loving way. And anytime she did therapy with my child, she kept telling me, I can only do so little. The bulk of the work is with you, so please make sure you do what is right. And she taught me to do what is right with my daughter. And believe you me, we are not where we were 2 years ago. I would like to thank my friends. There is one friend that was a former colleague. Her name is Martha Kimondo. She is my prayer partner. She is the girl that I could call anytime I felt like I was sinking too low, and she has helped support me uh, by praying with me, by talking to me. She has been very helpful. There is my church member. She's called Mother too. What a coincidence! And she's my prayer partner as well. She knows my daughter, and she keeps telling me everything will be fine. Thank you, mother. There is my mother. My mother has been very good support because she reminds me at the end of the day, everything happens according to God's plans, and we have to keep praying to God and thanking Him for even giving this child to me, because there are others that are looking for children and they do not have. Thank you very much, Mom.
Okay. And after Njeri, you still had another baby. Were you not, you know, like having the thoughts of, okay, I don't want to have another baby? maybe she will or he will also be autistic? Didn't you have those thoughts?
My children's spacing is 3 years. Okay, so by the time Jerry was 3 years, I still, okay, by the time she was 2 years, I still was not worried, and I didn't imagine there was anything so bad about her. I was still waiting for her speech, because apart from not speaking, there was not anything that possibly just put my antennas up high, and I
Yeah.
thought there was a problem.
Okay.
Yes, so I had not gotten into this paranoia of no,
Yeah.
I don't want another child. No, she was still not so bad.
Okay. And now today, how is the relationship between her and the other siblings? Have you talked to them and explained to them that this is how she is? She's just the way she is, she's just okay. Have you talked to them? Do they understand?
Yes, I have talked to them. Now, initially, when we didn't know what Njeri's problem was, anytime I went anywhere with my son and anybody asked him, "Where did you leave Njeri?" my son would go like, "We left her in the house because she doesn't talk." And that didn't sound to me like any problem, because anyway, she did talk. But when I got the diagnosis, with the help of Sanaipei, it helped me talk to Mbugwa, and I told him, now look, Njeri needs a lot of our love, support. So you do not have to do anything that you wouldn't want anybody to do to you, to Njeri. Support her, love her. My young boy is still too young to understand. He is still a mama's boy, the attention seeker that he is at 5 years, and pushes everybody away. Mbogwa and Jerry, they are pushed away from me. So it's still very hard to let him understand how to treat Njeri, but they're very good friends.
Okay. And for Jerry, does she attend a normal school like other children, or she attends a special school?
She attends a regular school. I took her to school just before she turned 3, but unfortunately, the teacher didn't seem to understand her very well. I didn't know what her condition was. So she stayed in, that time they were calling it baby class. She stayed in baby class for 2 years. And at some point they took her to nursery. So in nursery, she was there for 1 year, and there's still not so much that seemed to come. So I talked to Sanaipei, and Sanaipei suggested that we take her to a special school, which I did. When I took her to the special school, I saw a lot of regression. She lost on a lot of gains that we had seen, and she started even doing things that she was not doing before, like biting her hand very hard, making some very weird noises. And I thought, okay, this girl should not be in a special school. And all we were looking for is the social interaction bit, because she was very distant. She didn't want to be around other children. She didn't want to be around even adults. And we imagine when we put her with children that are like her or even worse than her, she might not gain the social interaction skills. So we thought we could get her into a regular school, but getting her into a regular school was the other elephant in the room, because not very many schools in Kenya are very welcoming of children with special needs. So we were able to get her a good school by God's grace, and yes, she goes to a regular school but with a shadow teacher.
Okay. That's nice. And what would you like to tell other parents who are raising children who are able differently? As you said, it's a journey. You have to have a lot of patience and all, how would you tell them?
Okay, one thing I know today is that everybody is different. Not even two children are the same. So if you're raising a child with special needs, just know that they are different from any other child you know. Their abilities are different from any other child's abilities, and their, I will not call it disability, their ability is also different from any other child that you know. Just because my child can ride her bike very, very well should not make you just burden your child with riding. It might not be their thing. So just understand that these children are different. Just focus on what your child is able to do, nurture it, and keep motivating them to do everything that they can do better. And one thing I would like every mother to know is that you are the first pillar of your child. The best support would only come from you as the mother of this child, but not anybody else. So, as opposed to just having people take care of your child in your absence, be present and do it yourself. Yes.
Thank you so much. And I know you've been an encouragement to many other parents out there who are watching, and maybe someone would love to reach you for, encouragement and a word of advice. How can people reach you?
You can reach me on Twitter. My handle is at wmungai. I am also on Facebook, and on Facebook I am Wangoi Mungai. So I'm available even on email. My email address is wmungai@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wangoi, for your time and for sharing with us your story. I'm inspired myself, and I believe many other moms out there have been encouraged, and we've made a mother there somewhere, make that step forward of not being laid down by the situation, but walking ahead with the courage that things will be okay, things are okay, and all that. So asante sana, and I only pray that God will give you more grace to keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. Actually, not many parents can do that. We've had news, some get kids with such conditions, they abandon them, and some also end up in depression, they kill themselves. But for you, you stood strong, so all the best.
Thank you, Juliet. It was nice talking to you, and I hope one day I will give a different story about my daughter's successes, because so far I have seen a lot of very good progress. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye. That has been my story. Very, very inspiring. For now, we are going to take a short commercial break. We will be right back.